What's up, YouTube? Today we're turning a grow tent into a reptile enclosure. So starting off, this is the iPower. It is 55 inches wide and then 24 by 24, so 2 foot by 2 foot. So this works out great for blue tongue. It's bigger than the 4 by 2 by 2, gives you a little more room. So starting off, they got the metal frame and it is coated with paint. So in theory, it shouldn't rust, but I noticed a little surface rust starting on a couple edges that weren't covered the best. So I figured I would spray foam it all. Probably with a northern, depending on how you set it up, you probably won't have to cover it. But especially with the higher humidity, and if you're going to try to do bioactive and have that constant moisture, you're going to want to make sure that, none of that over time, the rust will happen and you might have that leach out into the soil. I could be overthinking it, but I always go with the better safe than sorry. So what we're going to do is basically coat everything in spray foam. We're going to do the back, the sides, the bottom, everything but the top. If you wanted, you could do cork flats on the back and sides. They have some that are basically about 2 foot by 2 foot. You can even cut them down if you got a table saw. You could, do it perfect, but we're going to go with this route for a little different look than a wooden flats. So we're going to start in the corner and work our way around. This stuff does expand, so we will cut away it. And what we're doing, we have the exhaust fan going, so it's going to take everything, the vapors out, and then we're going to coat all this afterwards. It's a good thing we got a lot of cans. That's one, and as you can see, that didn't cover a lot, but it will expand a bit. Being the back and sides are so smooth that we might have to build up a little bit as we go, but we'll see as the process goes along. So now we have it on the side just to use gravity to help us attach the foam to the sides. And after this side cures, we'll do the same to the other. So with the majority of the spots done, we're pretty much just going to do some fine tuning and hit where we don't like. now we're going to trim up some of the foam on the bottom to make it a little more flatter, to kind of be like our substrate base. And for the most part, the back will stay the same, and the sides to be kind of like, we're kind of going for a cave wall, I guess would be the best way to put it. You could also they have panels that you could attach, but I think this is going to be a great method. With the last can of foam, we're going to at least try to turn one of these hides, but maybe both, into more of a naturalistic looking one. So we're going to start off putting the foam on top. It might have been easier to do it a slow way like I did the enclosure, but could always carve some away. So now we're going to put a coat of DryLok over all the foam, and we'll probably end up doing 3. That way it seals everything in and nice, and that way we don't have to worry about anything falling off, and it will last long term, because blue tongues can live 20 to 30 years. touches around to make sure we get everywhere covered we want to, and then we'll start adding plants and vines. So now we got our couple coats of DryLok on, and we're going to add some ferns. So what we're going to do, we're going to trim down the stalks a little shorter. We got some tin snips, and we're going to take about 1 inch off these two in the front. The other ones we already got cut to size just to make it easier. And then in the holes, we're going to fill with hot glue and put these in. That way they hopefully stay and don't get moved when the skink goes over them and through them. And the ends of these you can bend and you can adjust how you want to. But for right now, we're just going to get them set, and then we'll fine tune everything at the end. So we're going to fill the holes with hot glue all the way. Shove it in the hole. We're going to put a 3-inch hole saw on the left side to put a vent in. We're going to test fit our vent. Now we're going to put hot glue around it. I'm going to shove that in before the glue dries. And then there's a couple of spots we're going to want to put some hot glue around it. Seal everything up good. That way we don't have to worry about any escapes ever. Since we attached the plants, I mounted an L bracket in the back corner, and we put glue in where we put the screws in. That way it puts on a better hold. And what we're going to do, we're going to put our UVB light. One part's going to mount on that. And then in the middle, we're going to have zip ties on it to help hold it. We got this one attached to our bracket here already. And we zip tied up the cords out of the way to make it look better. So now we're going to try our best to attach this without it falling on us. Make it easy. We're going to set one end up there. snip off all the ends. Now that we have the lights attached, we're gonna attach some vines. And we have some green zip ties that came with. In your vines, you're going to want to make sure you rinse them off and wash them, because it seems like a lot of the companies, depending on where you get them, have some dye on them. So you want to make sure that's completely washed off, so that way you don't get your animals don't get into the dye. So we're going to start off in the corner. Here's the finalized product. As you can see on the right, they have the basking tile platform where they could bask on top or have a warm hide underneath. And they have the middle hide that you could see we turned the black PVC hide into a more naturalistic looking hide, similar to the one on the left. And then you could see in the left corner is our 3-inch exhaust vent to let some of the hot air out on the cool side. That way you have a decent gradient while, letting some fresh air in. Even though they're reptiles, they still need oxygen. We have a smaller water bowl in the back. If you wanted to do a bigger, more matching one, you could definitely find one. We have various artificial plants and vines hanging up. And overall, it worked out very well. There are some things I would change and some interesting things I found out after. So starting with the things I would change. For the bottom, I would have not foamed the whole thing like we did. I would have just done around the frame and then put a thin, light grid on the bottom. I'll attach a picture of those. People commonly use them for like incubator trays. Put that down, you could fill it with like dirt or like Coca-Cola. And that could be your drainage layer for, isopods and stuff like that. And then just put cypress mulch or whatever substrate mix you want to on top. Then you'll have a deeper substrate barrier, so you don't have to worry about as much falling out. And, with the grate on the bottom, you won't have to worry about your skink digging through and damaging the tarp, and you'll still have all the sides covered. And, being not the best climbers, they're not going to mess up the top, so you don't have to worry about that. Also, the interesting thing I found out after, I'll attach a picture to the side. It's one that has 2 windows instead of one. It's like a 4x2x2 3 set for breeders that someone recently showed me. Be interesting to look into. I've never used them, but if you plan on breeding blue tongues or you just have various, pets, the size works great for, anything from bearded dragons, blue tongues, ball pythons, wide range from various levels of humidity. You can just adjust. Even if you wanted, on the right side, you could do another 3-inch hole and do a little computer fan. Even that way it draws air in one side and blows it out the other. Just a couple options. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please comment down below if you have any suggestions or anything else. So, as always, please like and subscribe. Thanks for stopping by.